past few years led to high levels of non-performing loans and abuse of depositors' funds through related parties and affiliates in breach of regulatory requirements. In addition, the lack of enforcement of the rules contributed to liquidity and solvency challenges in the banking sector. As a result, we inherited a number of weak banks and specialized deposit-taking institutions, savings and loans companies, finance houses, rural and community banks, and microfinance institutions. This eventually led to an assumption and consolidation of 7 banks with potentially adverse consequences for depositors, creditors, employers, suppliers, and other stakeholders. It was critically important that these banks be made to exit the financial system in a timely and orderly fashion to avoid contagion for the rest of the financial system. Mr. Speaker, since the assumption of office by the current administration of the Bank of Ghana, bold measures have been taken to restore the health and resilience of the banking sector and to clamp down on unlicensed deposit-taking financial houses. In addition to the 2 insolvent banks that were closed last year by the Bank of Ghana, 5 more closed in August this year for insolvency and other infractions of the law. Rescuing the situation regarding these 7 banks has so far cost some 9.9 billion Ghana cedis in monies government had not budgeted for and could surely have put in good use to fix our numerous infrastructural needs, roads, bridges, housing, etc. The government has continued to provide assurances to depositors and customers of licensed banks and specialized deposit-taking institutions through demonstrable actions that their deposits are safe. Indeed, following the creation of the Consolidated Bank Limited, a wholly owned government of Ghana and licensed by the Bank of Ghana as a universal bank, the government capitalized over 450 million Ghana cedis. In addition, government had to issue a bond with a face value of 7.6 billion to cover the gap between the deposit liabilities and the remaining good liabilities of the 5 failed banks. This singular action of government has reposed confidence in the banking system because it will ensure that no deposits of the 1.2 million depositors will be lost, and customers will continue to access their deposits without difficulty. Through government's intervention in August this year, deposits of some 11 billion have been saved, as well as some 2,661 jobs, in addition to several hundred saved in 2017. The government's action has also created a strong indigenous Ghanaian bank in place of the 5 failed banks. The government is committed to ensuring that Consolidated Bank Ghana Limited becomes a strong, customer-oriented indigenous bank, well-positioned to meet the demands of all its customers and to serve as a go-to bank for financing small and medium-sized enterprises and corporate Ghana. Mr. Speaker, generally banks have made progress in repairing their balance sheets by writing off bad loans and addressing capital needs. Banks are far advanced in executing their plans to augment their statutory capital in line with the new minimum requirement, compliance of which is expected by end December 2018. The Bank of Ghana is also working on a comprehensive action plan for cleaning up the specialized deposit-taking institutions made up of savings and loan companies, finance houses, rural and community banks, and microfinance institutions. The government will support an orderly resolution of the difficulties and will provide the much-needed funds to facilitate prompt payouts to their depositors. Mr. Speaker, the government's financial interventions in the cleanup exercise have been necessary to help mitigate the socio-economic impacts arising out of the closure of the failed financial institutions. It is important that the cost of these interventions borne by taxpayers are recovered to the extent possible through recoveries from debtors, shareholders, and related connected parties who, through unfair means, siphon funds from the defunct banks to the detriment of depositors, employees, and other stakeholders in the economy as a whole. The Bank of Ghana has also, Mr. Speaker, set up an Office of Ethics and Internal Investigations to investigate all allegations of misconduct by Bank of Ghana staff, including any role in the collapse of the defunct banks. In addition to all these cleanups, government has also taken steps to settle all claims of DKM customers. Mr. Speaker, you would recall that DKM Diamond Microfinance Limited had its license revoked in February 2016 with considerable suffering imposed on depositors without any meaningful response from the previous government. That has significantly changed, Mr. Speaker. The official liquidator received 99,858 claims, and the validated claims amounted to 502 million Ghana cedis. I would like to inform the country that out of the 99,858 claims, 79,708, 80%, have been settled and depositors have been paid. The government has set aside funds at the Bank of Ghana to pay the remaining 20% of depositors upon validation. An additional 12,612 claims have been fully provided for, but the customers have not as yet been able to show proof of deposit. This means that 90% of DKM claims from depositors have been paid or provided for. Depositors for the remaining 7,568 claims of above 10,000 Ghana cedis are yet to reach agreement with the liquidators. Mr. Speaker, let me say how pleased His Excellency the President is that in 2018 and 2017, 271,000 young Ghanaians, 90,000 in 2017-2018, and 181,000 in 2018-2019, who would not have been able to access secondary education, were able to attend because of free SHS. We cannot, Mr. Speaker, we cannot downplay how significant this is to building a future for every citizen of this land. Mr. President maintains that he will leave no one behind. Mr. Speaker, the days of an ailing national health insurance scheme are behind us. We have re-energized the scheme, which is now able to settle its bills, thereby ensuring that many more Ghanaians have access to quality health care across the country. Mr. Speaker, we have paid all arrears since 2014 that we came to meet. Mr. Speaker, for our government, support for the private sector is a top priority. Our efforts to improve the business environment were duly recognized in the 2019 World Bank Ease of Doing Business report, in which our position improved from 120 to 114 out of 190 countries. This is just a beginning as we strive to continually improve the business climate in Ghana. We can and will do much better. Mr. Speaker, government has provided strong support to stimulate the private sector. In addition to bringing down interest rates, we provided direct support to the sector through the stimulus and 1D1F programs. The 1D1F program has generated strong interest from several banks. 55 companies have been founded, with several others in the pipeline. Government's Planting for Food and Jobs program is yielding impressive results. In order to consolidate the gains achieved under the program, government 2 weeks ago operationalized the Ghana Commodity Exchange, the first electronic commodity exchange in West Africa. Going forward, there will be a ready market for farmers who produce grains such as corn and soya. Through this exchange, an estimated 200,000 skilled jobs will be provided not only in Accra, but in key agriculture production and trading centers, including Wenchi, Tamale, Sandema, which host warehouses to support the exchange. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's credibility in the international capital market is on the rise. As a testament to the prudent fiscal and monetary policies of this government, in May 2018, the Akufo-Addo government successfully issued its first Eurobond with shining success.